and welcome to the grand finals of Chrono Clash II. It is BikeRush versus Hoxaeb, the old guard, the GOAT of Kane's Wrath, versus the newcomer, mid only, but he's risen to the top, and they are fighting it out for who takes home the $1,000 grand prize. But of course, I am not here alone. While we need the viewers, we need the community to participate, we also need the players to show up and give good games. I am not alone. I got my producer, Josh, helping out with the stream. He has been with me for this whole weekend, taking a lot of the load off of me. We, of course, have this entire design and graphic package put together by Drive, an amazing designer that if you need graphic design, you should hire him. And we have Double Evil as well, building the Battle Scry overlay and helping out. So a big thank you to you for helping this event happen, for helping it be amazing, for all of the players finding the time in their schedule to put together the games. We had so many games played in 1 month of Kane's Wrath. 1 month of this tournament, 4 groups of 8 players each, best of 5s all the way, and the community got it done. There were a couple of snafus, there were a couple of dropouts, there were a couple of missed connections on games, but overall, the Kane's Wrath community has come together to make this event possible. But we got 3 more people who have also been a part of this event and who have been helping to carry the load. Not only Dune Tiger, who is asleep right now, who helped cast the opening series of this weekend, who did a phenomenal job of bringing his deep game knowledge and not only providing extreme entertainment as a player in the group stage, getting through some of those games and giving Rex and Futurama a run for their money. But we are now going to introduce 3 more folks who have been along for the ride pretty much the whole way through. Big thanks to Matt on your left there from Chronosphere. Welcome to the show, or welcome back to the show, Matt. We'll get to Korak and Green Zero in just a minute, but any final thoughts going into this grand finals?
Yeah, Sybert, thanks for having me. So just first, a big shout out, like you said, to everybody that helped put this on, the players, the community, everyone in the support staff. It's been really amazing to see all these games play out. Some really good series, some really good games. Really good feedback from the community. Everything we want to see from a tournament like this. So big shout out to everybody. Couldn't have done it, obviously couldn't have done it without all you guys. So looking forward to doing more in the future. So yeah, if you enjoy it, just if you want to throw like shout out on social or something like that, it's always appreciated. Helps to kind of show that these we get good engagement here and things like that. But yeah, as far as the games go, really exciting semifinals. Really good games. That last year's was epic. So it's always hard to bet against BikeRush, but it would be pretty epic to have an upset on these finals. So yeah, Heart says Hoxaeb, and then Head says BikeRush. So I guess we'll go BikeRush because I always go with my head. So.
All right, Korak, you have been here for pretty much the whole time. You have been casting so many games for Chrono Clash, and you've also been casting a bunch of games for Green Zero's tournament, the Extended Series Invitational, and you've been just putting in the work. There's a lot of commentators who have come through Kane's Wrath over the years, and a lot of them are, pretty casually doing it as a hobby. You are as well, but you have also been putting in a huge number of hours on these community events. So a huge thank you to you, Korak, for putting in so much time and effort, especially in the early stages of the tournament where you would put out like 12 hours of videos before I got my first video off the ground. So huge thank you to you, man. I really appreciate it. It means a lot that you stepped up and you casted those games. You provided that coverage immediately right out of the gate. Huge thanks to you. But I also do want to get your prediction. Matt is going with BikeRush. How have you been liking these games, and who do you think is going to win between BikeRush and Hoxaeb?
These games have been not only extremely entertaining to cast, but also to watch. I still dip in from time to time and look at yours just to see some different perspectives or see some of the players streaming it from time to time. There's just been so much content, so many streamers absolutely covering this from multiple perspectives. It's been really exciting. I've learned so much I'm now up on YouTube, almost 40 hours of just pure content for just the Chrono Clash, not including everything I did on Twitch. My prediction for this is still going to be Noav. I'm going to root for the underdog. I want this underdog story to go through. Nothing against Bike Rush. He's a great guy, great player, but I want to see him have competition, and most importantly, I want to see him sweat, and he's going to sweat when you put $1,000 on the line for first place, and I really, really want to see that.
All right, and the last person on your screen is Green Zero. You've been seeing him help me cast these games in these last couple of rounds. From Down Under, real quick, Green Zero, because since we're going to hear more from you in a minute, who is going to win, Hoxaeb or BikeRushOwnz?
Well, I got the last one wrong, so I'm not on so far. But, I mean, I'm going to go for Bike Rush. I really badly hope that Noav will put up a killer fight, though, and it would be spectacular to see him win. I want him to do really well, but if I have to pick the winner, I'm probably just going to select Bike Rush. I just think he will power through at some stage in the series.
All right, so those are our predictions. Thank you to Korak. Thank you to Matt for helping this event be possible. But of course, we do have to say thank you to Chronosphere for putting together the budget for this event. It is time for the grand finals. It is time for it all to end. Chrono Clash 2 comes crashing down right here, right now. We're on Tournament Odyssey for game number 1. This is the grand final best of 11. In the north, the Red Steel Talons, the greatest of all time. Give it up for BikeRushOwnz. In the south, running them down one after the other. He's here to kill the old guard and say that he is the greatest. This is Hoxaeb. Three rifle scouts, a second shredder turret to try and deny them, and it doesn't even work. We're 90 seconds in, and BikeRushOwnz has the perfectly timed scout. We've talked about this all throughout the tournament. You're against Blackhand, you gotta see them at 1 minute 30, 1 minute 45. What are they doing? That is the flame tank timing, and BikeRushOwnz, he was typing cheekily in the chat beforehand, I might Titan rush you. Titans are good at crushing flame tanks, but he knows there's no flames on the board.
Yeah, Bike Rush playing with his food there, just taunting Hoxaeb there. And yeah, the scouts as well, forcing him to just draft shredder after shredder after shredder. And I mean, yeah, Bike Rush lost 4 scouts, but I mean, he forced out so much to, you know, essentially not even stop the scout because he knows he's not getting rushed. He's just going to eco, and he's probably going to follow it up, yeah, with MRTs because they're super popular right now for Steel Talons.
It is an amazing combination, the MRT rockets under the control of someone like BikeRushOwnz who can keep them alive. We do have 5 harvesters from both players, an even match between them, but there it is, the 2 minute 50 double war factory from Hoxaeb. He has done this in so many games. We saw Phoenix and Dimitri both fall to it, frustrated that they weren't able to knock it down. And Futurama, he was able to knock it away most of the time. Those were not the games that he lost. Bikes are going to come in. They do pummel one of those MRTs. It does survive with just a little bit of HP. No mine drops just yet to try and bait in that bike buggy, but there's going to be one mine drop as the second MRT goes down. There's the stealth reveal, and the pit bulls have to get chased away. The first attack goes nowhere for BikeRushOwnz.
Yeah, it takes out both the MRTs there. Quite well done. Didn't get the rockets to de-garrison, but it's not a huge loss for Bike Rush there, just losing the 2 MRTs with some infantry squads there. He will know, of course, it's double war factory, and that instantly cues the Titans coming out of the war factory. He's got 2 war factories up now, and he just needs to defend at least the next 30 seconds, 60 seconds. We'll see how this goes.
The rematch from Group A from the beginning of the tournament is here to seal the event off. Pitbull's coming forward. Titan's going to absorb a couple of shots. That's 2 dead Pitbulls. That's 2 dead bikes. And 1 bike gets left behind. A little bit of sloppy control as a 3rd bike gets exploded.
Yeah, just trading blows each other here. They're just trading units so far. No harvesters have gone down. He took a bit of hull damage there, but against Steel Talons, they have the Titan. Very difficult to dislodge from buildings and the War Factory. And of course, the heavy harvesters side, but just remember, they have extra HP.
We rarely get to see the second feature of the Heavy Harvester get utilized, the garrisonability of them, but we do at least have that extra damage that they can take. There's the command post for BikeRushOwnz, and the scan immediately. He will reveal the natural expansion of Hoxaeb. Dozer Blades are on their way. The Ops Center is up and running.
Yeah, BikeRush instantly queues APM the moment the comm center comes down as well. He's definitely going to need that. Probably going to go into Hammerheads, I suspect, here, and maybe a lot of Tier 1 Steel Talons, and we'll have to see if he does want to go into those Mammoth tanks, because you got to remember, Steel Talons Mammoth tanks with adaptive armor, with Railgun Accelerator, they can be extremely difficult to stop.
Orca Strike comes in, tags that Harvester. Hoxaeb didn't see it until it was too late. Secret Shrine is up. Black Disciples on the way. There's going to be a couple of bikes. They run past these Wolverines, and one bike gets caught either miscontrol or a little bit of a reverse move bugged sort of thing, and it does go down. The early skirmish is now being followed up with Orcas sniping a couple of Scorpion tanks. They have revealed themselves to the Black Hand, and they're not going for harvesters, they're going for tanks.
Yeah, quite surprised he's just using his Orcas to target down, tanks instead of going for harvesters. There's a flame tank in the top left, but look at this, it's just bike rush things, right? It's got Titans here. He's all over it, right? The second it comes into his vision, it's just a dead flame tank.
We do have the expansion over at the 3rd base. Hoxaeb has taken that expansion point, and he does deploy that first refinery. He is not trying to end the game necessarily off of this push, but he wants to test BikeRush to see if he has the forces ready to go. And like you said, just BikeRush things, he always seems to have exactly what he needs where he needs it.
Yeah, he's going to get attacked here. Hoxaeb is looking like he's trying to find a gap, but there's a lot of mechanized units here from the Steel Talons player, and there's a very fine line between getting completely crushed by the Steel Talons force and overwhelming it. Mammoth tanks are out on the field though, so it looks like Railguns is on its way, so he's going to tech right up to go for the big rail weapons, but he's also going to need a lot of anti-infantry, keeping a lot of the Wolverines around, because there are a lot of rocket squads here. But you know what, Sybert? There's no Cabal, so there's very little buffing for these rocket squads.
Orcas in the back line do manage to find at least one harvester there. So in the main base of Hoxaeb, there is some damage being done. And this is just a slaughter of the Nod. The Titans stand tall, not even needing railguns. And the rockets get sliced and diced. The AP ammo from the Wolverines knocking down those rocket numbers. And as the Purifying Flame comes in, the truth of the grinding treads of the Mammoths is realized. It's railguns to top it all off. And it's a bull over for BikeRush. He crushes Hoxaeb in the attack.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic positioning from BikeRush there. Right at the last moment, he did a big line formation, all of his mechanized units in a big long line, and they all started blasting the moment the Black Hand committed. And yeah, he completely destroyed the attack. He didn't lose too much, like he lost what you'd expect, but he's come out ahead. And this is the counter attack, right? Walker's killing harvesters in the expansion. Oh, that's not good. How's he going to survive this attack, Sybert?
There isn't much left. A Purifying Flame tank moving across the map, gets tagged by the Hammerhead, gets caught by the Wolverines, gets revealed by BikeRushOwnz, and he may have to pack up his MCV and run for the hills, but he's still got an army that can fight, so even if he loses the expansion, he's still got Hoxaeb by the throat. Hoxaeb is going to have to pull together a defense against this attack from BikeRushOwnz, but the Flame tank has drawn way more attention than I thought it would. The other Flame tank actually survived, and he got turned around the wrong way. They go down. Both flame units explode in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, just managing to hold that attack and forcing BikeRush back. The flame tanks just drawing Bike's attention long enough to cause some chaos there. Bike trying to get a ref down. I mean, he has to contend with the third base here, but the Orcus is still alive and they're still hunting Harvesters. And I mean, that Sam turret side, but it's not doing anything over there. The entire left side of the field is not covered. He's just going to suicide for another Harvester because he knows he's weakened and he's going to get it.
He gets the Harvester, he gets the splash damage as well, so even though all 3 Orcas end up going down, he has more than paid for himself. Harvester count, 12 for BikeRush, 5 for Nohayev. BikeRush has basically too many Harvesters for the amount of Tiberium that's on the map. He's got more than enough Harvesters, but that just highlights how many Harvesters of Nohayev he has been able to kill off.
Yeah, he just needs to hold this attack and he basically wins the game. And I think he's going to start building Behemoth from here. He's already got a tower line up, which is fantastic. He's building a defensive position. I don't think this infantry force are going to be able to get through. And once again, a complete lack of Cabals. Oh no, there are 2 Cabal squads in there. A few more coming, so he's going to patch that up. You definitely want the Cabals in there. And yeah, like I said, it's double War Factory and he's just pumping these Behemoths out. It's not going to end well.
The only thing that Steel Talons is missing from this lineup is, of course, sonic emitters. So because they don't have those, he's going to have to make do with the watchtowers. He's not even drafting any Guardian Cannons, which do look awesome with the railguns, because he's got such a powerful army behind this that he just doesn't need them. Heavy Harvesters coming to the front line. They're here to tank shots, and they're here to crush the infantry, and they excel at both. That's 2 Harvesters going down, but behind them, the railguns are free firing on the forces of the Black Hand, and BikeRushOwnz crushes forward the Wolverines, knocking down those rockets. There's more reinforcements coming in for both sides, and the Titans don't have the numbers. It's up to the next wave of the attack from BikeRushOwnz. He can't actually kill the MCV. He's going to have to fight it out with the rockets to decide who dies on the ramp. There's an airfield deploying onto the front line, and the rockets just barely don't have the strength. The rebuild is a little bit too much as heroic status comes through, but that's a Purifier getting up close and personal from off screen. He comes in from the right and he burns down the airfield. A War Factory comes in and he's going straight for the MCV, surrounded by gunfire. He crushes the Wolverine and he stomps all over that Behemoth as well. Nohayev is somehow turning this around to be such a closer fight than it should have been.
Oh yeah, man, that one Purifier almost single-handedly won the fight at the end there. BikeRush desperate to try to take it down, pouring all of his bullet weapons onto it, which are not good at all versus a Purifier. And he's still going to try to make this happen with Purifying flame tanks. But I mean, oh, he just grabbed a Purifier. That's it. See you later.
The Behemoth comes out, the Purifier comes online, and the GG gets called. Nohayev drops game number 1. And at the very least on Tournament Odyssey, he is not roasting GOAT today. BikeRushOwnz gets the first win of the series, but that was not a quick one, and that was a close one. BikeRushOwnz had to fight for that.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was really close, and even towards the end there, it looked like Nohayev was going to have enough to break BikeRush, and I think it just came down to the skin of his teeth that he held that. That last Purifier almost single-handedly won the fight. Well controlled, good to come back, especially after that first fight didn't go too well. But yeah, I was quite surprised how much of a go he made of that. And according to the resource graph, he just managed to finish just a little bit ahead of BikeRush.
Nohayev, the underdog for sure, but coming through and putting an incredible game on the board for game number 1. That is not what I was expecting to see out of Tournament Odyssey. And the first part of that map, it looked like BikeRush domination. I thought it was going to be BikeRush just closing that out and not giving Nohayev a chance. There are some games that BikeRush plays, even versus top players, where it just looks and feels suffocating. You can do nothing. Everything you try gets shut down. Anywhere you go, you get beaten, and somehow he has like 10 more harvesters than you right from the start of the game. BikeRush can be suffocating, and I thought that's what we were starting to see, and then Nohayev pulls it back late in the game past the 10-minute mark to make it way more of a fair fight than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you got to hand it to him. He did well there. And I mean, if he plays like that in the rest of the series, he can definitely push BikeRush all the way to the edge there. But BikeRush again, just so good at just cleaning everything up, especially those flame tanks. Not a single flame tank got into, like, probably in the later game without that one got to the top left, which really saved his bacon against that other attack. But I mean, at the end of the day, just I think a little bit unlucky not to quite push through BikeRush's forces at the end.
In the in-game chat, BikeRush says technique stops smurfing, which is interesting because I was discussing with someone, I think it was Masterleaf, where we were both saying Hoxaeb kind of reminds us of BikeRush from 10 years ago, where BikeRushOwnz made a tournament name on aggressive nod play. He, in particular, went for the double War Factory all-in, and Hoxaeb is going for this like delayed expansion War Factory play. But we are heading into Tournament Highlands for game number 2. It is going to be the next round, but it's going to be basically the same thing that we saw last time. Welcome to game 2, and welcome to the Nod player. Welcome to Hoxaeb. Sticking with Steel Talons, believing in the power of the Titan. Steel Talons rule. It's BikeRushOwnz.
Yeah, look at this, Sybert. Triple engineer. What's BikeRush cooking? I don't know, but it's it might involve an airfield, perhaps.
The sneaky triple engineer. That's one of those things that we have seen some players go for over the course of this event. I don't actually know. Where is the third engineer? Ah, there it is, along the north edge of the map. I thought he was going to keep it in his base, but he sent it out on an adventure.
Yeah, this could be a classic old school BikeRush engineer that's just randomly in the corner that takes your MCV at about the 10-minute mark or the 8-minute mark. It's he used to do that all the time, and like it was just so frustrating that it worked like 98% of the time when it's a strategy that should like work, 1 in 100 times, but just BikeRush things.
He somehow manages to get a load engineer into your base, and it's always the time when you least expect it. Game 2 of the Grand Finals, this is the perfect trick play for BikeRush to do. It does cost you the extra $500 in the beginning of the game, and it's going to be a long time before this potentially pays off. He's actually walking directly towards a Tiberium field. Now, on the other side, BikeRushOwnz does have a foxhole dug in the middle of the Nod base, so this is the perfect scout from Bike.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with that engineer. He's stepping on the Tiberium field, so it's going to make it incredibly weak. If he's not careful, he might actually lose it. But I guess what he's hoping to do is that the MCV is going to move over here, deploy. He's not going to spot it because it's a very small unit, especially when he hugs the edge of the map there. Yeah, he's just going to leave it stationary there because most players simply won't notice that it's there, right? Although the MCV deployed very early, this could be for his classic double War Factory. Bike knows it, and I think it's been spotted, Sybert.
No, the buggy turns. This is going to be terrible bad luck if BikeRushOwnz walks in. Okay, he backs up. There, the buggy has spotted it for sure. That's a dead engineer. $500 down the drain. That is one loop in this timeline that has been cleaned up. There's the okay from Hoxaeb.
Yeah, he spots the second War Factory there. He's going to camp the War Factory for the first bike. It's probably going to be a buggy. Yeah, look at that. I mean, Hoxaeb has been playing a lot of mid-only tournaments, and I noticed in those he never drops a single game. So, given his performance here, I'm not sure how he's still allowed in any of those tournaments. But yeah, nonetheless, he's probably looking to be our next maybe advanced player.
Hoxaeb has proven himself in this tournament. What a series he has gone through. He defeated Panic early on. He took a game off of BikeRush in the Group A finals. He then defeated Tipsy as well in the lower bracket to qualify, followed by Dimitri, Phoenix, and then Futurama in a nail-biting best of 9. And now he's here taking it to BikeRush and taking BikeRush to the limit. Bikes are going to back off. He's just dancing outside of this natural.
Bike being very cautious, putting down extra turrets here, and he's got plenty of units on the ground, just making sure he doesn't lose any harvesters. Looks like Hoxaeb is going to rotate to the main base, but I just imagine that Bike's going to have that covered. Maybe a little bit of an opening here. Maybe he can take that harvester that's at the ref. We'll see.
He instead targets the MRT. He's looking to lock that down, trade out with the pit bulls as well. Little Pit does go down. Harvester gets pulled off the line. This is a lot of bikes and buggies exploding on exit. He comes back in. He wants more. He believes he has a chance, and I'm not sure that that was the right call. He's sticking around right on the edge of range, knocking on that watchtower, but he can't burst it down.
Yeah, puts the repair tool on that watchtower, though. The MRT actually started repairing it as well. He's going to come straight back, but I mean, BikeRush, he's pretty much tracking this quite well now, so I couldn't imagine he's going to lose a Harvester from this position. I think it's time for Hoxaeb to retreat from this area, because BikeRush now has the confidence to move out and try to he's just destroying more bikes, and he's losing 1 or 2 pit bulls, but I mean, it's probably worth it.
Hoxaeb has stolen a full load of blue Tiberium from the south. He's trying to get more blue Tiberium in the north. He's hoping that these trades, that this aggressive play will be a cover for him stealing the blue Tiberium, and so far it has worked out, but he is running out of time in that case. And now this, I guess he knocked down the pit bull, so there's no stealth detection here. The infantry would have to move north to actually be able to see that Harvester, and the bike's continuing to trade. There goes one MRT. There's the stealth reveal as the Harvester re-stealths. It does get scanned. That blue Tiberium Harvester is right on the edge of range, and he does escape.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Wasted his scan as well, and he was 1 hit away from putting it in heavy damage mode, which would have slowed it down, probably enough to get a kill shot on it. But yeah, unfortunately, scan is done, and that blue tip Harvester will get away. That's just going to be a big boost to Hoxaeb's economy here. And again, he's going back for more blue tip on the bottom field as well.
Trying to always steal away that blue Tiberium. That's where he's going to find his advantage. That's where he's going to make up for losing all of these bikes. 4 more bikes go down. One Hammerhead very low on health, and the other one's just fine. 4 more bikes get eliminated, but that's a lot of Scorpion tanks, and there's stealth tanks in the mix as well.
Yeah, almost all the blue tip this game taken by Hoxaeb here. Bike has got a Harvester on the top. Takes out that Titan way out in the open. Dozers is done now. He's not vanilla, yeah, so he's got stealth tanks. Is he working on lasers? I think he might be Sybert, so maybe looking at doing a bit of a push here. And a Steel Talons Marv, the weakest of the GDI Marvs, but I think BikeRush seems to think that's going to be his ticket here.
Maybe BikeRush will do the classic 4 engineers super damage soak Marv. BikeRushOwnz going to be able to pick off a couple of escaping Scorpion tanks as the Hammerheads move in. Lasers haven't finished up yet, so these Venoms don't have the damage boost to easily knock down those units. There are 2 stealth tanks who have sniped a blue Tiberium Harvester in the north, so BikeRushOwnz sent his blue Tiberium Harvester out, and then he missed the opportunity. And the stealth tanks, they thread the needle. They get past the Orcas, but BikeRushOwnz might have seen them. There's the reveal. They're going to go for 1 Harvester. They don't have Tib Core, but they don't need it. They are probably going to die here as the scan comes in, and they get targeted down. Good night to the stealth tanks. That's 2 Harvesters for 2 stealthy boys.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary to lose the stealth tanks there. Could have killed that 1 Harvester and evac from the area. BikeRush actually has sensor pods upgraded. He also has EMP grenades upgraded. And it looks like, yeah, you're right, it's going to be a quad engineer Marv. This is a tanky Marv because people underestimate the amount of repair value 4 pads will give you. This thing can restore its health really quickly.
Orcas and Hammerheads on Overwatch. Railguns finished up. He may not have railguns in the Marv, but he's got them all around that Marv. 4 Mammoth tanks to support the 4 engineers. But of course, that's not the only epic on the map.
Yeah, he's got these grenaders here now as well, but normally grenaders don't fare that well in really any stage of the game, but BikeRush will probably make them work somehow. I'm disappointed it doesn't have adaptive armor. A lot of people just forget about it or just don't think it's worth it, but it is 100% worth getting it, especially if you're in a massive armor fight and you can use the RGA with the adaptive armor. It just makes your tanks basically unkillable with still a rate of fire increase. Marv is Marvesting now, and he's charging up the Obelisk to use it as an artillery piece. I like this, and I think Master Leaf will too.
Ooh, Shockwave Artillery going to be firing off. The RNG is good for now. The Rage Gen fires off. None of the EMPs land on the Redeemer, and that was the opportunity for BikeRushOwnz to catch it. The first EMP grenade does line up, and the Mammoths are going to be closing in. That rear armor on the Redeemer makes it a quick snack for the steel talons. Redemption comes out, the EMP will be returned, and it's now up to the Scorpion tanks as the supersonic airstrike lights up the skies. The Venoms go down, and the Obelisk stands tall. He lights up the night with the power of Nod.
Yeah, Shockwave Artillery completely missed the Redeemer, but then of course BikeRush does BikeRush things and lands the EMP grenades with the Redeemer's back to him, so he just blasts it in the rear, doing tremendous damage, destroys it. There's actually so many beam cannons. He's going to lose his MCV. This is going to... Oh, he has to pack up, but I think that's just going to give him a few more seconds. Is there enough Behemoth here to do anything? I'm not too sure. He's trying to juke out those beam cannons, Sybert. It's going to be close.
He's doing it perfectly. He's juking them out one by one with every one of these deploys. He gains another second. Orca Strike comes in, and the MCV's so low on health, but how much is it going to cost? Nohayev, he targets down the Behemoth, and the Marv moves in. The rest of the army retreats away. The MCV survives, and the Engineer will come out. BikeRushOwnz has bought the time. He is juked and he has dived. He has danced his way to a safe MCV back up to full health as the Redeemer steps back out onto the field.
Yeah, oh my god, that is, again, just BikeRush things. There was no health left in the health bar of the construction yard there, and he just juked it like 4 or 5 times, and Nohayev was unable to destroy it. That's a fantastic rage, by the way. He needs to use the Redemption ability, get a massive amount of Awaken here. That'll help him out immensely, but, I mean, actually the beam cannons get the Marv down quite far, and it's not over, Sybert. It could be anyone's game.
Nohayev proving that he has a reason to be in the finals of this event. He is taking BikeRush to task, and the army value is even between them. BikeRushOwnz is down to only 5 harvesters behind it all. So it's about the fight for the middle. It's about this artillery war. Beam cannons versus behemoths. Spectres versus the Marv. The Mammoths are moving back in. Redeemer is ready to go. The shots come out. The EMPs haven't landed yet, but the Grenadiers are moving in. BikeRushOwnz believes that the dance will continue, and that Marv is able to soak up so much damage. He's trying to bait so that the beam cannons stay in place so the Mammoths can close the distance. One EMP lands, but there's no damage to pour out onto the Redeemer. Finally, the Behemoths find their shots, and the Mammoths, who have swung around onto the north side, one goes down and one will escape. It is a close fight between these two.
Yeah, one of those Mammoth tanks actually had a veterancy on it here, but I mean, the beam cannons sort of ran forward at the start of that fight, and I think he lost a few too many, and there's only 4 remaining, and this might be the end of him. And again, look at the Marv, look how quickly it's able to repair its health back up, and there's nothing garrisoned in the Redeemer, so a random Mammoth tank coming around the back as well, Sybert.
The Rage Gen perhaps stopping that Mammoth from being able to take part in the fight. Rage Gen once again escape. Oh, it's a derby in the middle. It's one harvester down, a second gets eliminated, and this Mammoth is going into Crush Town. Population Nod harvesters. It's a destruction derby in the Tib Field in the center of tournament Highlands, and BikeRushOwnz has all but pushed Nohayev out of this game. The GG comes out, and BikeRush will get game number 2.
Oh man, what another explosive fight. That fight on the middle just went forever. And I mean, oh, Nohayev, if he just didn't lose like those beams in that one push there, like his beam control was really good up until that point there, but not killing the MCV, not keeping them alive, like it just like BikeRush wore him down, and it shouldn't just BikeRush outlast the attack.
Somehow, some way, BikeRush finds a way. It seems like it always happens, and it feels inevitable. BikeRushOwnz, I thought that Nohayev had that one, but as you say, BikeRushOwnz just does BikeRush things. So let's see what happens here on Sick City. Welcome to game number 3 in the North. Steel with the Talons. This is BikeRushOwnz. He's bringing the medal and he's bringing the fight to the player in the South who's putting it all on the line. This is the Black Hand. This is Nohayev.
Yeah, he's going for that flame opening. BikeRush, he's doing the same thing as what he did with Futurama, and BikeRush will see it pretty early just because these scouts in the buildings will eventually get flamed out. But, oh, he's actually going to take this building here. He's not aware of it. He's going to lose both these scouts once that upgrade completes, but Yeah, he did it versus Futurama. Let's see if he does the Flame Tank follow-up behind it.
I'm going to guess that BikeRushOwnz was watching those games versus Futurama, and even if he wasn't, he knows now because, as you said, both of those scouts exploded, and on this map, on Six City, there are so many buildings, and if you're not against Scrin and you're not against Flames, then those scouts are going to last the first 5 minutes of the game. So the fact that they're gone is a huge indicator to BikeRushOwnz, and Futurama didn't respect this. We have the watchtower already up and ready from Bike.
Yeah, first watchtower out, and he's building a Wolverine as well. I don't like the Wolverine against this. Like I said in the last game, he's going to be able to destroy the spike, and like you said about the buildings, it's very easy for the infantry just to retreat to the buildings, and you're never going to get him out of there in the early game, which is going to be a pain. A scout does come in, though, to Hox's base, so no operations center just yet. I'm just going to check if he's paused it, perhaps.
Yeah, that scout is completely unopposed. There's not even a refinery queued, but you're right, he might have something paused there. No shredder turret to dislodge this scout. There is also a Cabal squad with a Black Disciple at the second Tiberium spike, so Nohayev is hoping to burn down both Tiberium spikes and then, I guess, go into something after that. This is so delayed from Nohayev. He has, whatever he's building, it's only halfway done.
Yeah, look at this. He's falling into the same trap of Futurama. First Wolverine's already dead. I mean, I'd much rather use watchtowers for this. He does clean up the scout behind, but again, he's just buying himself time. BikeRush can't expand. BikeRush has only got 3 harvesters, 4th harvester now. He should be okay, but again, the infantry's going to survive, and they can always, they're going to destroy the bridge, and that's going to ensure that that blue tib field is going to be much easier to defend later on in the game.
BikeRushOwnz, he does handle this attack better than Futurama did. Another Wolverine will pass into the Great Beyond before this fight is decided, and that's more rockets smashing into the next Wolverine. The Black Disciples are not in range, so the Riflemen are able to knock down these rockets, and finally, he will burn down these Rifleman squads. That's the power of the Black Disciple. That's the power of Black Hand early game here in game number 3, and he still has enough squads that he can actually knock down that bridge.
Yeah, I mean, BikeRush lost those Wolverines and he lost all those infantry. I mean, he's basically lost just about as much stuff as the cost of the rush. And there's a missing spike, and he's slowed down. He's going for a really fast AP ammo, which is, always nice, but still, Nohayev is just ecoing behind this by the looks of it, and he's going to have a notable eco lead. He's going to go double racks, and it's really difficult to kill a Black Hand player who's doing man spam until the very late game.
6 harvesters out on the field for Nohayev versus the 5 of BikeRushOwnz, and Bike deployed his MCV a little bit early, so he's gone War Factory and Barracks on the high ground. You mentioned that AP ammo, it's very fast, it's about 60% complete, so as this army moves out, BikeRush doesn't need to delay it by very much before AP ammo is already ready to go.
Yeah, it looks like that fast APM is going to be a good decision because it's going to help him out here. There is two grenade squads here, but I mean, as long as Nohayev sees these, yeah, he's already shooting at him. He's got such great range from these buildings. Oh, he puts it into the MRT. Oh, he bails out just in time. He's going to juke these guys out, Sybert.
Oh my gosh, twice in a row, network latency one way or the other 3 times, but the 4th, he pays the price, and the 5th will go down as well. But juking those grenadiers like that is just something we don't normally see players do that successfully. Finally, it is now costing a lot. Nohayev is making the mistake. Moment after moment, he just threw away a lot of his infantry by shoving them into that building.
Yeah, he sort of got overzealous there, and after juking them out like 5 or 6 times between each building, he eventually does lose them, and it's going to be an MCV push from BikeRush, and it's going to be up against Scorpion tanks. I mean, he just needs to put down laser turrets and Scorps, and I think he just wins the game.
He does have the Hand of Nod, so the laser turrets are unlocked. He has that tech available. There's going to be a couple of Wolverines going down. There's the MCV unpacking for BikeRushOwnz. Keep in mind, behind this, BikeRushOwnz doesn't have an economy, and it's 10 harvesters on the field for Nohayev, so he may have gone too heavy into economy for how big of this attack is heading his way. The Titan is engaging at range. Blue Tiberium now being refined. Nohayev needs to extend this game out further. He needs more time, but he just doesn't have anything ready.
Yeah, no laser turret follow-up. He only built one of them, and the entire expansion has to be evacuated, but he just doesn't have any forces. He's trying to go to War Factory Scorpion, but it's too late. The army's here. He's actually going to lose to this push.
Hoxaeb with the high highs of the beginning of this game, tragically falling down now later in it. 6 minutes in, and BikeRushOwnz is looking to lock up game number 3. Hoxaeb is sticking in this one. He is going to fight it out. He does believe he has a chance, and BikeRushOwnz has to make this push work, but that doesn't seem that hard for a player of his caliber. Scorps are going to be trading out. More Wolverines coming in. Titans moving in for the crush. GG comes out. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. It's a bit disappointing. Really, he had a fantastic opener. He had a fantastic follow-up attack, but I think not killing that last Grenadier squad was like the death of him, because that last Grenadier squad killed like 10 rocket squads, and then it prevented him from garrisoning more buildings further back, which would have stopped the push as well. So it's just one of them things where again, BikeRush just had that one unit there that just allowed him to persist and then follow through with that really good attack.
So close, and yet it doesn't work, and that has been the name of the game of so many matches in this tournament, in this series. It is a tough thing to be that close and then still have it not work out. The map choice will once again be Hoxaeb, as he gets basically 3 maps in a row. Once again, the players did agree upon the first map of the series, and now we're going to Tournament Undergrounds for game number 4.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if he sticks with Black Hand here. I'd imagine he would. BikeRush, I guess, doesn't feel any reason to switch off Steel Talons. Steel Talons historically has been pretty good versus Black Hand, just because the Titan makes it difficult to do any type of flame rush, and they've got the hammerheads, they've got the behemoth, they got the rail tanks. It's a tough ask for Black Hand to beat Steel Talons in the late game.
We've seen this story before. BikeRushOwnz opening up 3-0. He did it versus Rex. That scoreline doesn't represent how close some of those games were. Hoxaeb, again, the scoreline doesn't represent how close some of these games are. We both thought he could have taken it in that last one, and it looked like he might be able to take it on Highlands as well, but instead, we're finding ourselves going further and further into this series, and it's only points on one side.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to stay in touch with BikeRush's score at least, he definitely want to win this one here and break that momentum. I mean, again, he's playing fantastic, and just, I think, a little bit unlucky in BikeRush just getting those few moments that he just randomly gets that help him win those games.
It is a tough spot to be in, down 0-3. To break the momentum and shift the game back towards his favor, he needs to start the comeback right here, right now. If he lets this game slip away, it all feels inevitable. On the left side, playing the purple Black Hand, this is Hoxaeb. On the right, loving Steel Talons because Steel Talons rules. This is BikeRushOwnz.
Yeah, it looks like Hoxaeb is going to go for that center spike, and BikeRush is his foxhole, I think, is a little bit too far back. I'm not quite sure. It might be perfect, actually. BikeRush, however, is going to go for the top spike. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Is he going for flame again? No, he's just brought along a rocket squad, and that is actually going to help him dig out that foxhole. But it might slow down the engineer too much for like a Wolverine or an MRT to rock up.
The Rockets have started breaking down that foxhole. BikeRushOwnz on the north side has gone for the lazy engineer, just walking its way slowly to that top Tiberium spike. So BikeRush is going to try and dive in with a couple of rifleman squads and box out that engineer. Last rifleman squad is going to dive for it. They're going to stop and fight the Cabals, and okay, I think it is now safe for the engineer to head into the base. Shredder turret will deny any additional scouting, and BikeRushOwnz is going to be following it up with one harvester out of the gate from that war factory.
Yeah, that was brilliantly done from Hoxaeb there, because BikeRush had rifles coming in from 3 directions, and he defended all of them out, captures the spike, BikeRush is about to get the top spike, but I mean, they're still going to be behind Noah's spike, and as we can see, it's going to be a flame follow-up. I'm not sure if Bike's vision is still here. No, it's not. His vision's actually elapsed. So did he actually see the flame tank? What's he building? He's building... Yeah, he's building a Titan. He must be... He's either seen it or he's suspicious.
Watchtower gets deployed nice and early as well. And there's the flame sell-off, or there's the sell-off of the operations center. There's another Black Hand squad now out on the map. They could just end up walking around the map looking for targets. Flame tank will definitely reveal itself as it clears out that building. And the Titan is heading kind of in the wrong direction for this flame tank. There's a second Titan here, so they will be able to box out this flame tank, and the Watchtower takes minimal damage.
Yeah, it gets the flame tank away before it hits heavy damage mode, so he will escape with it. I think BikeRush was sending one of his Titans to cover the spike, thinking that he might just go for the spike, but he is going to pull the flame tank back, which is the best decision he could make right now, because he wasn't going to get anything done with it. At least now he keeps it alive, and BikeRush will lose track of it, so he's always going to have to be searching for that for the next couple of minutes.
BikeRushOwnz perhaps suspicious that something is going to sneak through that he doesn't know about. And we see this Titan in the back kind of guiding this MCV from the very right edge of the screen. BikeRushOwnz, these sort of things that ultimately won't net him anything in this case, those are the careful moves that BikeRushOwnz makes to know that he is not getting jumped on by something surprising. These kind of things of like, oh, I'm going to send this Titan in a spot that doesn't really need to be, that doesn't really make sense, but it keeps that MCV safe.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, the Titan just rolling around back there. It's like, it's just BikeRush things, right? He thinks there's a flame tank or a Reckoner coming in from behind him, but obviously we can see there's nothing there. He can't see that. MRT push is going to happen, but I mean, there's infantry here with the Black Hand squad. He could even take that garrisonable structure there. He's going to lose that Titan for sure, but I mean, the MRT push is going to find the flame tank at least.
One flame tank down. The MRTs are going to abandon their Titan buddy by the destroyed Tib Spike, and that is a nice refinery at the natural expansion for Nohayev, putting his harvester count at 8. BikeRushOwnz has cut harvesters a little bit before that, 6, to make this attack happen. So BikeRushOwnz has cut economy to make this happen. No stealth Black Hand harvesters. They're getting targeted. This is looking like a massacre in the main base.
Yeah, I mean, everything's getting run over. He's getting completely overrun before he gets anything down. He will get a laser turret down, but I mean, the Titans can crush. Meanwhile, the infantry on the right-hand side is just getting cleaned up by towers. It's not working out for him. Harvest is so low, gets one of them. He's going to move into the expansion now. He's having a really hard time cleaning this up, Sybert.
Finally, that Titan does go down. It is a mess of a fight on both sides of the map, and the harvesters are driving so far away to avoid these MRTs. The MRTs dropping mines back where the harvesters normally drive, so when they come home, if BikeRush hasn't cleaned those out, those mines are going to cause even more damage.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised he didn't put these rockets in the garrisonables that he ran past. Instead, he got most of them killed on the way home. I mean, that would have been fantastic to put sporadic damage on the reinforcements, because we can see BikeRush streaming stuff across the map, and when rockets are attacking, those rockets will rank up pretty quickly and cause problems. He is going for the disciples, but he needs to hope that BikeRush doesn't attack before that's done.
Wolverines now heading to the south. Those mines getting some good damage, and the sneaky MRTs have made their way north. We saw this in another game. Actually, it was versus you on this same map, where BikeRushOwnz kept a couple of sneaky squads on the high ground waiting for the MCV to move out. So BikeRushOwnz, he'll sometimes pocket these little groups of units way off where you don't expect them to be, and then bring them back 5 minutes later.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he just leaves them idle. I do remember that game, he was Scrin or something like that. I did send escorting APCs, but they just weren't close enough to stop the MCV from dying. But again, BikeRush has no AP ammo, so these Wolverines, they're going to have to back up.
That's kind of a curious attack, those Wolverines going in sort of by themselves. Garrisons aren't going to work particularly well against Black Hand. As soon as the Black Disciples get in close, that's done, and that garrison is gone. So Nohayev does clean that out. BikeRushOwnz, he is now preparing for his own defensive line. Nohayev moves into the middle of the map.
Yeah, double hammerhead here. I mean, that's the name of the game. If he gets enough of them, he can overrun the infantry, and there are tanks, and the hammerheads will destroy those too. So might have to chuck in maybe 2 Mantis just to buff the infantry attack here. It's just having a small amount is going to be helpful, but there's a lot of Wolverines here. He's got to be careful.
APMO wasn't done for the last fight, but it certainly is done for this one. As back on the other side, the MRTs end up getting caught by the infantry that stayed home. And you called it, the Hammerheads are just jumping on the infantry. The Wolverines pummeling those tanks, and tanks don't shoot up. Flame tanks especially don't shoot up. So they get caught, they get killed, and BikeRushOwnz just dominates the middle of the map. Nohayev's army had no chance at all. And now it looks like BikeRushOwnz is just going to crush it all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he gave a move order to his infantry. None of his infantry fired when they were in the middle there, so obviously a huge blunder, and that just caused him to lose everything for nothing, and the game's basically over at this point. He's not going to be able to defend out this attack, Sybert.
Samsite does get deployed to try to chase away those hammerheads, but it's enough hammerheads that they just overpower it, and without quad turrets, there's nothing left to do any damage. 1 harvester down, 2 harvesters getting targeted, and Nohayev's once good harvester count is now dwarfed by the 12 harvesters of BikeRushOwnz. Nohayev putting up a good fight in games 1, 2, and 3, but game number 4, it is all BikeRush all the time.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised BikeRush actually retreated from that attack. There was no AA left, and he could have just continued to do damage, but I don't know if there was something happening on the other side of the map. I couldn't spot any Nohayev units at all, so I guess maybe BikeRush thought it would be better to retreat, repair the hammerheads, and solidify his position.
It's 38k worth of army on the BikeRush side of the map versus 17k on the Nohayev side. That is a 20k army advantage over Nohayev. And that's basically the difference in total economy between these two players. Nearly 100 grand for BikeRushOwnz versus just over 70 for Nohayev. Nohayev is going on the aggressive, but when BikeRushOwnz has defender's advantage, I don't see this army being able to actually break that down.
Just Wolverines, though. I mean, the hammerheads, I'm assuming, will rock up shortly, but yeah, he's got to be careful. That is a lot of Wolverines. Titans coming in. Yeah, this is not going to end well. I think he realizes that he's quite far behind.
Even though the hammerheads were all the way in the southern part of the map, BikeRush's army was still too much, and that was a game that just kind of went nowhere slowly, and Nohayev ends up losing that one as well. BikeRushOwnz wins 4 in a row, and it's a best of 11, so it's not over yet, but it's not looking good for Nohayev.
Yeah, he's not really able to break the momentum here, and I hate to say it, but I think it's just, especially the last 2 games, it's pushing further into BikeRush's favor now. The first 2 games, Nohayev really threatened and was unlucky not to win one or both of those, but yeah, the last 2 games, not good. He might need to just take a short break and get himself together, because yeah, I think BikeRush is, he's going to look, Bike's looking at the scoreline, and he's just going to be so comfortable. He's like, yeah, I've got this in the bag already.
Nohayev does once again have map choice, and this is, we're through 4 of the most common maps, so he does get map choice, but we've talked about it before. The deeper we go into the series, and the less that Nohayev has to choose, because of course we're getting to the point where BikeRushOwnz is going to get to choose any remaining games in this series. BikeRushOwnz says, feel rough, been sick all day. Somehow, I think BikeRushOwnz plays mind games in-game as well as out-of-game. I've never seen a day where BikeRushOwnz says, oh, I feel rough, I feel sick, I don't feel good, and then he underperforms. There have been some times where he's been knocked out of tournaments, where he's been beaten in straight-up fights, but it seems like he's always saying he feels off, and then he always crushes everybody.
Yeah, it's just something that he says a lot of the time. Like, BikeRush will sort of throw a bit of shade at people here or there, especially if he thinks that they're being cocky. If you're cocky to BikeRush, he's not going to like that. He's gonna throw some shade at you. He's going to talk some smack about you, and he's going to say stuff like this. I mean, maybe he is sick, I don't know, but most likely he's just sort of he's trying to, like, you know, poke the bear, try to get on Nohayev's nerves.
Now we are on the Badlands. We are here in the small starting field, big natural expansion map with 3 spikes on it for the start of the comeback. Chances are dwindling, options are limited. It has to start now with the nod, with the purple. This is Hoxaeb. He needs to start the execution process because otherwise he's not eating goat for dinner on the right side, looking dominating, ready to go home because he's just too sick. This is BikeRushOwnz.
Yeah, looking pretty strong for BikeRushOwnz here. I mean, as Nerve, what do you do in this situation, right? You got to do something drastic. You got to try to pull this back. I think he's gonna have to do something aggressive, or he's gonna have to do something in the late game. I don't even know what to say about his matchup now. I mean, he needs to do something, Sybert.
I feel like the games where he has had the best chance, he has played the normalist. And of course, that does mean that BikeRushOwnz also has to agree to play normal, because if BikeRush throws something crazy at you and you're not BikeRush, you're probably not going to be ready for it. But the games that have looked closest, Highlands, even Odyssey right at the end there, and one of the other games as well, they were later on. When you try to play tricky, when you try to do something that you're not quite as experienced with, that's where Hoxaeb has been falling down. So I feel like I want to see him do his normal thing, go for the fast double war factory, follow it up with the big eco, and then go into the late game. Big army, upgrades, unit positioning, that's where we've seen him win these games.
Yeah, he's definitely more than capable of outputting very large armies and controlling them quite well, so I don't think he should have any qualms of going into the late game. I know we didn't say that in the Futurama game, like he wants the short game, but here I just think it's a different matchup, different play style, and yeah, we've seen it's like, yeah, he can play those late games, and he's good at it too.
And I mean, by the end of the series, the last game or two that he won versus Futurama, they were in the late game. So early on in the series, he was only winning the shorter games, and Futurama was only winning the longer games. But then by the end of it, it was the big armies moving around the map, the kind of awkward positioning as the MCVs move out past the natural expansion. That's where he won those games. To start off with, it is a refinery at the natural expansion. Hoxaeb has abandoned the double war factory first build. He's going straight eco.
Yeah, just a full-on eco build here now. Both players are doing the exact same thing with 2 ref before second war factory on the expansion. BikeRush is going to do these classic MRTs again, but it's going to be hitting a little bit later, and yeah, it looks like maybe it's going to be a Scorp tank response. I'd expect to see either a barracks or a war factory come down after this second ref.
One of the things that used to happen a lot in the early days of Kane's Wrath was 1 or 1.5 base nod fast tech. And I wonder, with this game being, with the natural expansion being so big and so prevalent, maybe faster one-clicks could be something that Hoxaeb could do to try and mix things up. But before we get to that, he does have to deal with this push from BikeRush. It's not a huge amount of pressure, but you need to respect it, because this is enough damage that it can kill your harvesters if you're not ready. First mine drop does deploy on top of the war factory exit point as well, so whatever comes out of here is going to take a lot of damage. This is just a pummeling by BikeRush, and a double mine drop as well kills another tank. Even with the repairs, BikeRushOwnz is just bursting down these units, and that is going to be 2 more dead tanks. BikeRushOwnz is crushing these Scorps.
Yeah, way too much damage. Some of those tanks were actually overlapped, so they were actually taking multiple hits from these forces here. Is he going to get a harvest here? Gets the harvester just before he loses the stealth detection as well. MRTs will get cleaned up, but I mean, he did a fair bit of damage with this push.
Behind it all, BikeRushOwnz up to 10 harvesters. He is ecoing like crazy, and 2 MRTs escape. Once again, BikeRushOwnz with 2 MRTs. Last time on Tournament Undergrounds, they went up to the high ground, and here they go on to the high ground again. They're going to have to be chased down, and there is going to be a beacon. It's an MCV cell by BikeRushOwnz. He is signaling to everyone what he is doing, but it's going to be a surprise for Hoxaeb. 4 airfields. When was the last time you saw that?
Yeah, this is a hardcore hammerhead cheese, and you can usually see this if a player is basically actually usually really far behind, right? Because they use it as a catch-up mechanic or a surprise mechanic, but he's ahead and he's just gone, yeah, the quad war factory. There's no double A, and he's going to go straight for the operations center as well. Once the operations center is down, all the anti-air capabilities of Noav is basically gone. I wouldn't be surprised if he just surrenders super quick.
Yeah, the GG is all that is yet to happen. Engineer does end up getting sniped. Nohayev scouted this, but it was already too late. He saw 2 airfields out, and he doesn't realize how much BikeRushOwnz is throwing into this attack. Bikes and buggies can come out, rockets can return fire, but this is just so much damage for someone who's already ahead 4-0 in the series. The grand finals are going the way of BikeRushOwnz, as it seems all things do. The hammerheads get pushed away. Nohayev is not giving up. He does still have 8 harvesters, so if he could find a way to deal with these hammerheads, he would be in an okay position. Operations Center rebuilt. SAM site comes out. Quad turrets have finished upgrading, and there's going to be another ops center deployed as well. The hammerheads get pushed away. What an amazing win this would be for Nohayev if he was able to take this game where BikeRush was so cocky he beacons his own MCV cell.
Yeah, I mean, maybe after the operations center, he should have gone for the power plants, because that many hammerheads can delete a power plant in like 2 seconds. He could have just dropped all the power, and that would have completely nerfed the build mechanic of Noayev in order to try to react anyway. His production would have been slowed down, his building structure would have been slowed down. Instead, he tried to snipe down all the production facilities, and that resulted in getting back up the operations center and getting the turrets down. So I'm not sure if it was the correct decision for BikeRush.
Here's the second swing of the hammerheads. Another SAM site is ready to deploy. Quad turrets paying big dividends. Noayev saying thank you to Masterleaf or to CGF for fixing the quad turret upgrade, which used to desync games, and now it might be saving Noayev, because everybody knows when the hammerheads show up, you snipe down the 3 individual turrets, but the quad turret keeps the hub online. BikeRushOwnz is going to go for what damage he can. It's Tibbs Spike hunting season, and they don't move, they don't fight back.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. I mean, he's only got Raider Buggies. Actually, Venom's coming out. This is going to be a big problem for BikeRush. He's going to have to either rebuild his MCV.
Already done it.
I think. Oh, he's already done it? I'm not paying attention, am I?
I was thinking the exact same thing, and I was going to check the War Factory, and then there it was. So BikeRushOwnz knows that he has misstepped. He knows that he has overplayed his hand, and you're right, it may have been going for the production structures instead of the power plants that has led Nohayev back into this game.
Yeah, when I do this, I know exactly what to go for. You get the operation center, that cuts out all the AA, and then you do a power run, because you can drop power plants so fast, and if they have 1 MCV, right, they can't go back for an operation center. They have to spend like 30-40 seconds building power plants, and they can't pump anything out of their war factories because everything's on double time, right? And that's how you win the game. You snowball it from there.
Venoms are coming out, buggies as well. A harvester getting targeted down there. Rockets inside of these hammerheads. Steel Talons may not have great infantry, but they do have enough. Another command post gets deployed right there on the front line. It's here to soak damage and just absorb some focus from Nohayev. Venoms coming through, getting tagged by this army. BikeRushOwnz kiting and trying to engage at range. He doesn't want to lose this game after being so cocky in the start. He wants to make sure to finish it out strong. Venom's trying to come in. He really needs lasers, but the tech got sniped so long ago.
Yeah, he's almost got laser Sybert. It's just about to come online. A few more seconds, and that's going to make these Venoms. He could just formation move them directly towards the... oh, actually, Tim Bang going to come down. He could formation move them into the hammerheads, and they're faster than hammerheads, so he could actually just run them down. There's not that many rockets here.
Pitbull's starting to come out. Tib Bane able to knock down a couple of Titans. The ground army still needs to be dealt with. Both players have eaten through their mains, eaten through their natural. I think the Seared Tiberium coming in for the nod. No Tib core just yet, so these SAM sites aren't as powerful as they could be. Pitbull's going to be front running this attack. They take a couple of shots there, and BikeRushOwnz backing off. He is doing the dance as well as he can. He is trying to keep on range as much as he can. He'll pay a little bit of a price for it. So many of these hammerheads in the red, in the yellow.
Yeah, again, I don't know why he doesn't just formation move the Venoms forward, because there's just only a handful of rocket squads there, and he could just destroy so many Venoms. It would just snowball so quickly, but I just don't think he realizes what an edge those Venoms would have over that many Hammerheads. Because yeah, if you click through them, there's only like 3 or 4 with rocket squads, and that's going to be insufficient, right?
There's the Catalyst Missile. It's once again on the back door refinery. So BikeRushOwnz, he has an MCV on the front line, but Nohayev didn't want to wait for that refinery to deploy on the front line. He didn't know if BikeRush was going to go for it. As Slingshot moves forward, it gets sniped by that Obelisk, and the Hammerheads skating through, looking for the Harvesters. Venoms are going to chase. Are they going to chase all the way? They're going for the Hammerheads. They want to end this army. They want to end the air supremacy of BikeRushOwnz. BikeRushOwnz moves forward on the ground. It's Mass Titan rolling over the Nod base, and the Venoms give up the chase. They've just stopped on top of this army. They're trying to cut off the reinforcements as the Venoms come through. Everything on the ground gets dominated by BikeRushOwnz. It's only the air that Nohayev controls. The power of Steel Titans rules the ground, and the power of Nod rules the air. That's a heroic Venom. That's a beam. That's a vapor bomb on top of the army. Where did that even come from? As this heroic Venom has his work cut out for him. Double that for another Venom. It's Titan hunting season, and they're going down one after the other. But the Slingshot and the AA is too much for the Venoms. Both armies retreat, but it feels like BikeRushOwnz got all he wanted. The GG comes out. It was a hard-fought game, and BikeRushOwnz almost threw it away.
Yeah, too little too late with the Venoms. Like, you could see at the end there where he did formation move the Venoms, and they were doing so well. Didn't continue to chase him, which was annoying, but he could have done that 2 minutes earlier. And then, yeah, he just didn't make the decisions he needed to at the time that he needed to make them. And yeah, BikeRush just bought time and ended up coming back and winning it.
BikeRushOwnz made the mistake of not having the correct target selection at the beginning of the game, and then Nohayev made the mistake with the Venoms in the middle, not able to make it happen, and he pays the ultimate price for it.
Yeah, still got less eco than BikeRush, but I mean, favorite unit Hammerhead, you don't see that too often. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think he realized just how powerful. Yeah, he had like 14, 15 laser Venoms, right? You can just formation move into the Hammerheads and just chase them around, and you delete them all. Like, it's the only outcome.
The unfortunate timing once again working against Nohayev. We've talked about this so many times, but he is that close from turning some of these games around. And those decisions where BikeRushOwnz has more experience, he has the decade of winning tournaments, and Nohayev doesn't. When you play the mid-only tournaments, you don't get the same level of experience against BikeRushOwnz. This is an incredibly valuable experience for Nohayev, but it is costing him the tournament, his inexperience in these situations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, BikeRush is just, he's just sticking with it, and he's just, yeah, doing what BikeRush does best, and just, you know, snatching up a victory regardless of his position. I mean, yeah, it's one of the reasons why he's so successful, and why people struggle against him. I always struggle against him. I just don't have an answer for him, but he just seems to know, you know, where he can have his units exposed, but he knows you're not going to attack them, right? Like, he's just got a sixth sense.
He's got that star sense that makes him almost unkillable. And Nohayev, if he had a little bit more experience, maybe if he had jumped from mid-only tournaments into some of these deeper pools with tougher opponents, he might have learned some of those lessons before today, because we've seen it. Nohayev has the hands. He has the micro, he has the macro, he has the basic game mechanics to go toe-to-toe to BikeRush. But then, like that last game, BikeRush is already up in the series. He beacons his MCV cell, he goes quad airfield, and he knows, like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then the game doesn't go the way that he expected. He has to rebuild his MCV, but he still gets the win. He knows those tricky things to do. He knows how to get the win late into the game. And unfortunately for Nohayev, that lack of experience is coming back to haunt him, but he's still putting up an incredibly impressive performance versus BikeRushOwnz.
Yeah, I mean, he still played very well, just like one or two notable mistakes costing him the Six City and the Undergrounds game. But the other games have, he's been going toe-to-toe. He's been doing a pretty good job. I think at this point, here being 5-0 down, I mean, it's match point. It's basically irrecoverable now. The best you can hope for is to get some scores on the board, try to take a game or two off BikeRush here. I mean, at the end of the day, again, it's been an entertaining series, right? And I know I'm talking like it's already over, but you know, it doesn't look good.
I mean, a comeback from this position, a full reverse sweep by Hoxaeb would dethrone that Master Leaf versus BikeRush series from the 2014 World Championship as like the greatest series of all time. That would totally disrupt like a decade plus of Kane's Wrath history as far as the greatest series, which would be an amazing thing to say, to see, and to know that the best days of Kane's Wrath aren't far behind us, but they're right here, right now, happening today with Chrono Clash II and with Chronosphere. But I mean, you said it. Everybody can read it. It is not looking good. We can hope, we can pray for the comeback, for the reverse sweep, but it is so unlikely, and that's for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think back in 2014 we would have ever thought that, you know, 11 years later we would be here again still casting this game. Like, it's pretty crazy to think about it, right? And you've got all these dinosaur players, or a handful of dinosaur players, who are playing amongst all these new people who just didn't exist before, right? Like back in 2014 there was no Senna, there was no Drive, there was no Futurama, there was no Hoxaeb or whatever his name is. Like, yeah, if you look at the lineup for a tournament like that to now, there's only like 4 or 5 players that actually still exist, but there's still just as many players playing the game.
Somehow we persist despite all time, despite all of the new games and technology advancements that have come through. We're all still here. You and me still casting Kane's Wrath more than a decade later, and we can hope that it doesn't end here. We can hope that it doesn't end now on the map Toxicity with a quick 6-0 from BikeRushOwnz. It's going to have to be the start of it all. We are going to have to be made new, reborn here through the fires of adversity, because it is all on the line. It all comes down to this. The comeback must start here. It must start now. It must start with this one on the left side. This is Hoxaeb. He's been through it all. He's seen the top, and he remains there. It's lonely, but he doesn't stop winning. He can't stop crushing. This is BikeRushOwnz!
Yeah, BikeRush with the Sixth Sense here has 2 rifles in the top, which means he's going to be able to overrun this Cabal squad, although he fired a little bit late there. Nonetheless, he's still going to win that out. He just knows exactly the direction he needs to go and with the amount of scouts he needs to go, and he's just so good at reading the game here now. Dug a foxhole next to the tower, which means I think he thought that Hoxaeb was going to try to take that, but that's not going to be the case. Be interesting to see. No, it's just going to be a second ref coming out from Hoxaeb.
Raider Buggy will deal with that scout. Hoxaeb coming through a grueling best of 9 versus Futurama. He's leveled up 2 or 3 times in this tournament. His playoffs run is a testament to that. He goes up against BikeRush in Group A. He gets defeated. He beats Tipsy, Dimitri, Phoenix, Futurama. All roads lead back to BikeRushOwnz. And he meets him here in the grand final. Tipsy, Dimitri, Phoenix, Futurama, each one a step above the last, each one a fight more difficult than the last. And now the final level, the GOAT of Kane's Wrath, BikeRushOwnz, and you have to do it in the hardest way possible. You have to do it with a 6-0 starting here on Toxicity.
Yeah, it's just such a tremendous ask when you say it like that. Oh, you just have to 6-0 BikeRush from here. Like, it's, yeah, it'd be an absolute miracle if that happens. But, I mean, if BikeRush wins this last game, he's probably going to be a little bit upset about me taking that lone game off of him and stopping his perfect run.
BikeRushOwnz denied the perfect playoffs run by Green Zero. That is the true story of Kane's Wrath. All of these new players, all of this new ability coming into Kane's Wrath, but the old school dinosaur Green Zero takes the only real game off of Bike.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, talking to Marsley before as well, and he obviously was a bit disappointing in the playoffs, and when he played Bike Rush in the IES, it was just a flat 5-0, and that was, again, that series was just as flat as the one he had against Futurama. So yeah, he's been doing pretty bad.
Not all of the dinosaurs can rise to the occasion, but there is one. I guess he's not really a dinosaur, but he's BikeRushOwnz, and he rises when it matters most. Truly, not a lot of players have been able to contend with BikeRushOwnz on his level. We've seen Futurama do it. We've seen Drive do it. We've seen you do it to some extent. And, of course, Technique was the one who did it best back in the day.
Yeah, quite a few notable wins. There was a large period where all the large cash prize tournaments, Bike Rush was unfortunately not winning those for him. But this attack's going to start here. It's going to be Pitbulls and MRTs, and there's only Scorpion tanks here. Did he not see this coming? Like, this is not good. He's gone for a hardcore eco build, and he's up against Pitbulls, and he's going to start to lose harvesters.
That's one harvester down. It is hardcore eco, and it is being punished by BikeRushOwnz, who now has 10 harvesters behind this. The follow-up is going to be more and more units, and this is where Hoxaeb needs to steal himself. He's had this opportunity before, and he hasn't been able to make it happen. He's got one more shot now. He's down with 2 harvesters, and BikeRushOwnz scans the main base to confirm what he wants to see. It might be a perfect Steel Talons victory from BikeRushOwnz, and Hoxaeb has one last shot with Black Hand to make it happen.
Yeah, the placement of that War Factory was pretty good, and I think if he pulled the harvesters earlier, he probably could have saved both of them, because he could have building blocked them, and there's no way Bike would commit the entire army to get a single harvester. But unfortunately, because the harvesters were only pulled way too late, he sniped them before they got sort of around behind the War Factory. So he probably could have held that attack without losing any harvesters, but yeah, he's not out of the game yet. That will obviously, slow him down a bit, but it's still going to even out in the long run.
BikeRushOwnz is placing a bet that Hoxaeb won't return to the main base. He had Pitbulls and he had Orcas ready to pounce on the main base of Hoxaeb. 2 airfields, and Hoxaeb has turned his army around. He's now leaving his main base. He's crossing to the north, and BikeRushOwnz senses the opportunity. He strikes hard and he strikes fast. That's 1 and that's 2. Hoxaeb realizes the mistake he's made, sells off the refinery, sells off the War Factory, and BikeRushOwnz will get the full scout off. Another volley of rockets in the natural expansion. Rockets trying to return fire from the ground. SAM sites coming in, but the damage has been done.
Yeah, that was, he transitioned some extra harvesters to the expansion, which obviously resulted in them not dying, so that was good. But, nonetheless, Bike Rush still went into the expansion at the end, but double airfield Orca, he's still going to stick with it. He's switching across to Hammerheads now, and yeah, Hoxaeb is just not looking like he's in a very good position right now. He's got a tech center. He's trying to get to the 3rd. Right now he's just trying to survive and get into the late game, because I don't think he can really do any aggression aside from these flame tanks. Maybe he'll get a lucky flame tank, but with so much aircraft flying around, it's probably going to be unlikely.
BikeRushOwnz catches the flame tank with the Orcas right outside of the natural expansion. There's no opportunity, there's no chance there for Hoxaeb. Hammerhead's moving forward. BikeRushOwnz trying to sneak around the back. He's found the tier 3 with Pitbulls, but I don't think that's gonna work. Surely Hoxaeb can stop this.
Yeah, just not enough Pitbulls there. Maybe if they had mortar, he might have got it. He needs to make sure he cleans them up. Needs to push them up against the back of the map there, yeah.
The MCV down below half health. Those Orcas just didn't have enough rockets to knock it all the way down. That is a narrow escape by Hoxaeb. His MCV in transition down to the 3rd base. Almost gets insta-sniped, but he does survive.
Yeah, I can't believe that Bike hasn't taken the blue tip behind this. Big engagement going to happen in the middle. And oh, I don't like the way he tries to retreat under fire. He just gets shot in the back. The fight is going to start now, but again, he's just going to retreat again. That's so many Wolverines, Sybert.
So many Wolverines running down the front door. 40k of steel talons ready to crush Nod. Rage Gen needs to fire off, and there it goes. Titans turning on their friends as the Orca Strike comes across the map, and it'll tag the Redeemer engineering facility, but not more than that. So many rockets were given up before the fight even started. The Wolverines able to clip down those forces before a fair fight could be turned.
Yeah, it's one of those things, if you're going to retreat, you can't retreat. You got to turn around and face them at that point, because you're just getting shot in the back and you're losing so much stuff. Like, they're not going to be able to retreat away. You need to turn around and just fire at them, try to do some damage. I mean, yeah, there's just so few rockets left now. He's got Mantis here, which I do like mixing in a few Mantis. And the Redeemer, once again, no garrisons. That's been a symbol of no hive in this series and the last one as well. He needs to put some garrisons in there, but yeah, BikeRush behind it. He just took all the blue Tiberium.
I mean, if you're not going to go for the Engineer and the Black Hand squad, at least go for the rockets inside so you can help deal with these hammerheads. Unlike the Harvesters in the main base who get shot up by those hammerheads, they get put in the dirt before the SAM site comes up to push that away. Nohayev moving out onto the map. He's down about 6k of army supply, so we'll see if he's able to really dislodge BikeRushOwnz. This is at least buying him more time on his expansion. He's going to have lots of cash ready for and available for him.
Yeah, BikeRush has gone with a slower force, so BikeRush doesn't want to get caught out of position, which is why he sort of kind of pulled it back to his base. I guess he feels he doesn't need to go forward. He feels that he is ahead. He can just sit back and build up a larger army. Nohayev is going to have to pull back here because he doesn't have any real artillery. He's got to watch out, doesn't lose that Purify. Nice Rage. And he should be able to get this Purifier away, assuming that EMP actually ever wears off.
That was a very long-lasting EMP. There is going to be the kill of that Purifier, and that Husk might also be taken over by BikeRushOwnz. He controls that section of the map. Behemoth's stomping forward. It's going to be the last to stand of Nohayev, and BikeRush actually accidentally crushes that Husk.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's not taking all these bunkers to the rocket squads as well. This would be a great position to fortify. He's going to get shockwaved, and if he gets hit, that's going to be the end of the Redeemer. There's 4 Behemoth, 5 Behemoth back here. This obelisk doesn't matter. The EMP spike might be collateral damage. No one's captured it, but it's taking damage anyway. Redeemer's dead. He's trying to send the army forward, but BikeRush is just going to back up. The Behemoths are just shelling everything. It's not going too well at all.
Once again, there was just a couple of seconds more that Nohayev needed, but BikeRushOwnz sensed the moment was right and pounced with the shockwave artillery. He finds the perfect moment to engage, and as you say, there goes the EMP center. It gets eliminated as these behemoths shell the front line.
Yeah, this is a worst case scenario here for Nohayev, just because, I mean, there's a lot of Behemoth out. BikeRush is doing his base push. He's happy to take it slow and just establish towers. And what has he got? He's got 3 Spectre artillery and Purifiers. I just don't think this is going to cut it. I mean, the MCV is almost in range, and this fight's going to start now. And yeah, he needs like a Vapor Bomb. He needs something to hold this down. He's only got 1 Obelisk. The infantry, has he got enough? There's only a few Wolverines left, so maybe he can actually destroy the Wolverines. A big EMP on the Purifiers, but the Behemoths, yeah, look how much damage they're doing from the backside.
It's all about the rockets. That's the only thing that he's got. Titans are falling 1, 2, 3, and the Behemoths get knocked down 2 at a time. Railguns never came through. The Redeemer has been rebuilt as the MCV falls. The Spectres get crushed by those Titans. Rockets coming through. They're buying time. They're holding the line. It's all about the last game. Back in the natural expansion of BikeRush, Scorpions snuck in a couple of Mantises in support to knock down Harvesters and do what damage they could. Nohayev fighting with his tournament life on the line in the last game of the grand finals. He's got to start the comeback here. It feels like he's been given another opportunity, and BikeRushOwnz needs to buy time. They've both eaten through so much Tiberium on the map. There's almost nothing left. Spectre artillery fire 3 more shots. That's 1 more dead Behemoth. It's double double barracks and engineers ready, waiting in the wings. Another behemoth goes down. Redeemer steps forward. EMP can lock it down. The mammoth explodes. So many low health units from earlier in this fight as the Spectres shell from a distance. The Redeemer is going to absorb the damage. The rockets are going to pour in on the Titans. One Titan remains. GG, well played, comes in. NoHayev gets a win. NoHayev manages to win on Toxicity and keep his hope alive for one more game.
Oh man, what a comeback in that game as well. Like, it looked really bad for him for the longest time, but I think right at the end there, I think the Spectre artillery actually saved him big time. They did so much damage, and they were responsible for 90% of the behemoth deaths. I mean, the thing about the Spectres is that they do outrange the behemoth, and because the behemoth behind a building line and BikeRush wasn't moving them, he was able to just whittle them down. And yeah, that Scorpion attack in the top as well, Bike was not prepared for that. He was expecting everything to go at his front line, and yeah, NoHayev just managed to pull through. But yeah, huge Spectre play.
Whoo, we did it. We did it. It is not a 6-0, ladies and gentlemen. There is life yet to live. There is something yet to fight for, and it is going to be happening on Atacama Road. The beginning of the comeback has to happen, and that was a terrible start to the game. Wait a second, I think I scrolled too far in this map list. That was a terrible start to that game. I cannot believe that he managed to find that win. That was not a good start for NoHayev, and I guess BikeRushOwnz just kind of overplayed his hand there.
Yeah, Bike's so confident. You can just see he's so comfortable. But yeah, I think he thought that if he just pushed forward, then NoHayev would try to just like throw everything at the front door, which is what BikeRush wanted. But yeah, the Scorps in the top, and then he was actually getting destroyed pretty thoroughly until they got to the EMP spike. And then NoHayev is like, nah, bro, you can't go any further than this. I'm just going to fight to the death. And he actually held him off. Again, huge Spectre play that really saved his bacon.
There are so many games in Kane's Wrath that come down to the artillery, that come down to those final few shots, and without the artillery, it just would have been the end of the game there for NoHayev. But I mean, it doesn't really get easier from here. We're gonna continue on, but there is no easy way out. In the north, playing the black hand, coming to life in that last game. He's got a new chance to take on this team, to take on this player in the south, or in the north. This is NoHayev. And in the south, he's finally dropped a second game. It's not just Green Zero who can beat him, but he's still the greatest of all time. It's BikeRushOwnz.
Yeah, I mean, NoHayev would be feeling pretty good about at least getting a win here, right? Because he knows it's like, oh, I'm not going to get swept. I've got one on the board. Maybe he'll relax a little bit. Maybe he'll get another one. Just boost the confidence. But yeah, I wouldn't get on the six games in a row comeback just yet.
We got to keep hope alive here for NoHayev. Early scouts heading around the map. Very early foxhole deployments by BikeRushOwnz. He once bunkered in scouts in the middle of both the north and the south to know what does and doesn't happen. Hallucinogenic grenades going to be thrown out, and BikeRushOwnz force fires the ground while the grenades are in the air so that he doesn't get tagged by them.
Yeah, just bike rush things there. He is going to get a scout off in the middle of the base here, but this is one of those maps where you can kind of cover the entire map with just 2 scouts, like one on the left, one on the right, like if you place it right. So yeah, you don't need a lot of scouts on this map here. Bike, of course, is going to walk straight through the base and see there is nothing to be afraid of. There is a raider buggy in his base as well, so it looks like NoHayev was a little bit concerned as well.
And he should be, because all the way back before the game, BikeRush taunted him about Titan rushing, and he has actually done this here. This is a Titan before second refinery. NoHayev has 3 harvesters. Most of these games, both of the players have been 3 going on 4 harvesters by this point, and BikeRushOwnz cut a harvester to get an MRT to get a Titan out on the map. Fortunately, the Raider buggy shows up into the base. It scouts that there aren't enough harvesters the refinery is late. So Nohayev kind of knows about this, and then he has prepared 3 rocket squads, 3 Scorpion tanks.
Yeah, he hasn't overspent either, which is really important, right? Because it's just 1 MRT and 1 Titan. Yeah, he's not going to be able to kill those infantry there. I think he's just going to chase this all down once he realizes how little forces there are. Runs into the minefield, maybe. Yeah, he's just going to back it up a little bit. But yeah, it's important that he does not overspend in the defense.
And it was the Cabal squad that actually tagged that minefield to really reveal it and make sure that Nohayev knew about it. So that was as good of an opening as Nohayev could have asked for. He's got his win in game number 6, and now in game number 7, he has got the pretty much the best possible opening he could have asked for, other than, I guess, BikeRushOwnz, like, forgetting that he was playing and sitting there for 30 seconds doing nothing.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised he didn't try to just garrison the foxhole with the rockets he's got. Actually, he's going to do it now because it's always nice when GDI leave that behind for you. That's just going to be annoying if there's like a pit run by or aircraft or something like that, and it's a nice defensible scouting area. Raider Buggy is coming back now. Looks like BikeRush is just going to go into an eco game, and looks like that's going to be the same for our Blackhand player.
Blackhand versus Steel Talons. The Raider Buggy is finally going to run and gun down that Rifleman squad that has been consistently scouting Nohayev's base from like minute 1 in the game. We're into the natural expansion, and we are into a double war factory from BikeRush, not Nohayev. BikeRushOwnz goes for the 2nd war factory before the 4th refinery, and Nohayev is going to need to know about this so he can get the appropriate response.
Yeah, no APM on the way just yet because there's no comm center, so this is just going to be the double war factory. I think he can probably just expect that. He's going to watch out for the minefield. Oh my god, that was a nice minefield.
Gets a buggy, gets a Scorp as well. And the army is going to have to retreat away. Behind this, there is a Harvester, but that Harvester, I don't know how long it's been there. It hasn't really gotten any blue Tiberium. He wasted a lot of time driving there, and he's going to go home empty-handed.
Yeah, he can't possibly defend it against an MRT 2x2 Wolves. There's only 3 or 4 tanks there. Unfortunately, not able to secure the blue Tiberium. I did not see how long it was there for either. I'm not sure if it just arrived or had been sitting there for 5-10 seconds, but nonetheless, that Harvester drove out there, got like half a blue crystal, and then went back, so definitely not worth it.
If you throw your mind back a few years in Kane's Wrath history, the games were all about this multi-MCV play. Some players going 3 MCVs, most of the time just 2. And Nohayev is bringing back that old school feeling with this 2nd MCV to the 3rd base on the left side of the map. Raider Buggy comes in for the scout on the right side and sees not much before the Titan shuts him down. BikeRushOwnz is going to get 2 loads of blue Tiberium from the middle.
Yeah, I mean, multi-MCV is one of the most difficult strategies to pull off, just because not only are you microing a lot of units on the field, like as you normally do, you also have to sort of micro your build queue, because you've got a lot of them, right? You've got build queues, you've got defensive queues, and that just gets more compounded the more MCVs you have. But it is an extremely powerful strategy. Yeah,
Orcas come in.
Harvesters.
2 Harvesters down. Nohayev placed the first SAM site over at the 3rd base with the 2nd MCV, so he didn't see the Orcas heading into the main base. That's Harvesters down, and now the Titans are over on the left side. The tanks aren't here in position in time. The engineering facility has now been started, and BikeRushOwnz decides he's late to the party. He's going to pack up and go home because he's expanding to the right side of the map.
Yeah, he's already got Behemoth out here as well, so I think he's just gonna make a push on that base while he expands to the right. And again, just BikeRush things, he's got no defense on the right flank, but I mean, we can see that there's nothing that can threaten it at all, and I guess he is sort of transitioning some units across there. Is he actually gonna abandon the push? Okay, so yeah, he is just gonna reposition his army to the right flank.
and BikeRushOwnz gets the confirmation scout with the Orca Strike. As that Redeemer engineering facility is coming in, he sends an Orca Strike over there. Now the Hammerheads are going to be returning to that section of the map. He is keeping pretty consistent eyes on exactly what Nohayev is doing. No Tib core missiles, no Tib core started, so he got quad turrets, but he doesn't have those later game power spike upgrades yet.
Yeah, no railguns coming through for Bike. Oh, actually, is he? No, he's got his MCV here as well. Oh my god, he's going to try to take both the fields. That's very greedy. I'm not sure if he can actually defend this. He's got a lot of purifiers, but it's sort of just out of position. Has to sell the MCV.
He just abandons the entire operation. The Husk is being left behind, but BikeRushOwnz kills it. He doesn't want to capture it for himself. And for now, BikeRushOwnz is... The Redeemer's out on the map. BikeRushOwnz is potentially fortifying this right side, and this is where he is going to attack the original natural expansion of Nohayev.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised how delayed the Tib core missile is as well. I'm assuming that's the upgrade that's coming through, and I haven't seen him get charged particle beam in any of these games either. And once again, we have an ungarrisoned Redeemer. Does he not realize he can actually garrison units in that?
Orcas coming in on the left side. They do get tagged by that SAM site. They're flying over. Secret Shrine is getting the upgrade. Black Disciples about halfway done. Harvesters being hunted by these Orcas, and it's going to be Nohayev kind of backing off of that attack. Finally, Tib core is done, so these Orcas are going to get pounded. 1 down, 2 to go.
Yeah, the placement of the SAM turrets there, you might as well place them in the Tib field. Just sells it off straight away. Only really killed one Orca. But looks like BikeRush is going to make a move with his MCV. He's going to push forward here. He does have the advantage of having artillery. But yeah, that is a pretty heavy mechanized force there from the black end. Behemoth stuck in the center. Oh my god, what's he doing there? Big shockwave coming down Sybert. Looks like it might be on.
Oh, it's perfect as it locks down the Redeemer with the very first shot. Scorps and Purifiers locked down as well, and this is an awkward angle for an engagement, but this is a huge Steel Talons army, and he needs so many more rockets to fight this off. Rage Gen fires off, but there's going to be the EMP. You don't need units if I can make yours fight themselves. The Grenadiers eliminate themselves, but the Redeemer gets knocked down, and BikeRushOwnz rolls over the army of Nohayev on Atacama Road. All roads lead to BikeRush, and all roads lead to defeat for Nohayev.
Yeah, huge RGA on all those forces in that fight as well. Once he got all his tanks and titans in range, he slammed on the RGA and they just decimated the Black Hand, and that's it, Sybert.
GG gets called, and that is your Chrono Clash champion. No how, no way, Nohayev gets knocked out of the game. BikeRushOwnz wins it all, dropping only 2 games in playoffs. BikeRushOwnz takes home a cool $1,000 grand prize, and Nohayev will take home $400 in second place.
Yeah, crazy game that one, but again, getting caught on the ramp and the shockwave and then the follow-up EMP grenades. Like, EMP grenades are generally historically pretty bad versus Nod, but it's just BikeRush making things work once again.
What an incredible series these two have played. Again, the scoreline unfortunately does not reflect how close so many of these games were. BikeRushOwnz dominating with a 6-1 scoreline, and Nohayev only getting that 1 win, but finding so much action. He found so many games that he was almost going to win at, and I am extremely excited to see Nohayev play in the future. He has proven himself to be a competent competitor in Kane's Wrath, and he has taken BikeRushOwnz to task so many games in a row, managing to push him to the very limits of his abilities, and even taking a game off of BikeRushOwnz in that series.
Yeah, he definitely could have taken a few more, I feel. But yeah, he has made a name for himself. He's like, hey, I'm out here. I can beat the pros. I'm borderline one of the pros now. Maybe not put him in the pro category just yet. Maybe in the advanced, goes in maybe the next tournament. But yeah, he's definitely shown himself to be a force. And But Bike Rush once again just came in and he was just so confident, and he made those crucial decisions right at the end that he needed to make, and that was the difference between winning and losing.
At the end of all things, GOAT is not on the menu. BikeRushOwnz gets another win and gets another tournament. And of course, a huge thank you to Chronosphere for sponsoring Chrono Clash II. We are all wrapped up here today. An incredible tournament, an incredible set of games played over the course of May and June. And of course, the action does continue with another amazing grand final over on Green Zero's channel. He has the Extended Series Invitational, which is BikeRushOwnz versus Futurama, the grand final that we almost had ourselves here today. So there's still amazing Kane's Wrath action. A huge thank you to the players for participating, for everyone coming together to make this event happen and make it an incredible set of games. Huge congratulations to Nohayev for taking second, and of course BikeRushOwnz for taking first. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you, Green Zero, for joining me in the finals. It has been a long and amazing, action-packed day. Any final thoughts before we close things out?
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic tournament. I mean, I look forward to seeing more events like this in the future. I mean, a lot of people came out, a lot of people watched, a lot of replays, a lot of casters and streamers and things like that. And that's what you want from the community, right? It's a real banger of a tournament. And it's at 7 a.m. here now. I stayed up all night to see this one out. So yeah, I wasn't really gonna miss this one, but I think I'll be heading off to bed very shortly.
The Kane's Wrath passion just doesn't die, but also it is alive in more places than you think, like over at Chronosphere with Matt from Chronosphere, who helped put this event on. We cannot say enough thank yous to Chronosphere for bringing this event to life. So if you have a Twitter, if you have a LinkedIn, if you have a Facebook, if you would say thank you to Chronosphere.io, we would greatly appreciate it. And if you work at a tech company and you need telemetry and cloud observability tools, they are the tool for you. They are the service for you. We are going to hear something from them in just a moment. So thank you all very much for watching. And this is Sybert signing out.
In the modern, containerized world, businesses face overwhelming challenges, sprawling systems, and exponentially increasing data. Observability chaos ensues, complexity increases, costs skyrocket, developers waste time sifting through mountains of data that's not useful, and customers suffer from a poor experience. With Chronosphere, you are back in control. We help you quickly focus on the data that matters so your team can move from overwhelmed to empowered. The Chronosphere observability platform reduces data volumes and associated costs by 60% and cuts through the noise to uncover actionable insights that reduce incidents by up to 75%. Chronosphere telemetry pipeline collects data from any source, processes it in flight, and routes it to any destination. Maximize your efficiency with a solution that uses up to 20 times less resources than competitors. With Chronosphere, turn observability chaos into control. Eliminate unnecessary costs. Improve data quality and deliver faster insights for exceptional customer experiences. Join leaders like Robinhood and Zillow, who've already taken control of their observability. Learn more about Chronosphere at chronosphere.io.